Second interview, Scott Hill. All right. All right. Do you believe that Purdue University has clearly stated its policies on drug possession and use on campus?
Um, Honestly, no, not really. In high school, I know that we were kind of forced to read the handbook,
Yeah.
and it kind of clearly stated like what would happen.
Mhm.
But I know most RAs would talk about it, but other than that, I don't think there's really much about it. Like the RA might say there's like no drugs like allowed in the dorms, but there's nothing really like stated what would happen exactly,
Yeah.
and the different levels of what could happen, like marijuana versus like something higher up,
Mhm.
you know?
Like a hard drug.
Yeah.
And then has your RA ever have you ever heard of an incident like with your RA that there has been drugs in the dorm or?
Me personally, no. I don't think I've really ever heard drugs. I've heard alcohol, but nothing,
Yeah.
nothing to do with drugs.
Okay. And then if have you talked to your RA at all about like drug and alcohol possession like on campus or just in the dorms as general? Like, can you come back to your dorms like intoxicated and be punished for that or?
I know you can be punished for it. I'm not sure like what the whole policy is with drug testing or anything like that or probable cause, but like I know when our RAs called us in for the first like group meeting,
Mhm.
within the first week of being here, he just pretty much kind of skimmed over it, said like no drugs allowed in the dorms at all,
Yeah.
but nothing really like into detail.
Yeah, it was just kind of quick and to the point.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, do you believe drug trafficking to be a problem on campus, and then why or why not?
Um, yeah, I believe it to be somewhat of a problem. I think that um, I'm not sure if it has entirely like it's just the students. Like I know Westlaw as a town is pretty sizable, so
Mm-hmm.
it could have something to do with that. And I mean Lafayette being right across the river, and also us being in between Indianapolis and Chicago
Yeah.
could lead to some problems. Like personally, I haven't seen people like shooting heroin on the streets,
No.
but like I'd say that drugs are a bigger problem than a lot of people would probably like to think, especially university people.
Absolutely. And that leads me to my next question. Like, have you ever seen anything in person? Like, have you witnessed any interactions of like maybe some people like smoking marijuana or just like transacting drugs at all?
I've definitely smelled
Okay.
like people may have smoked weed in an area and then left, and then like I walked through it and you can smell it, but like
And where was that, if you don't mind me asking?
it was actually in the quad,
Oh,
like
okay.
the,
So it was
the middle of Cary Quad.
Oh, so it was in the dorms.
Yeah, they were probably in a dorm or maybe like right outside. It was
Mhm.
pretty late, but it wasn't like super late. It was maybe like 10 or 11 at night.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't seen like any transactions going down. Like I
Yeah.
haven't seen people dealing drugs, but I've heard about it obviously, like in class or just like walking through the city. You kind of hear about it.
Yeah. That's understandable. And then, how easily do you believe you could like access drugs on campus if you really wanted to?
I think if you really wanted to, you could probably get most anything you really wanted, but like as you get into the more like higher up drugs, like the harsher ones,
Yeah.
you might have to go to like West Lafayette or like another town
Mhm.
around here. I don't think the campus area, like especially in the dorms, I don't think you're really going to be getting like
Hard
the,
drugs
the
like
worst,
meth and
yeah,
stuff like
the
that.
worst kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
It's just recreational, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, and then without listing names, have you ever been like directly affected by drug use through friends or family? And if you feel comfortable, could you explain the context? And it could just be friends if you really want to, or
Yeah, I mean,
because family's pretty personal.
I have been affected with my family.
Mhm.
I know that my uncle kind of got into some of the painkillers when
Oh, okay.
he was injured on the job. He worked for NIPSCO,
Mm-hmm.
and he was kind of just prescribed like a harsh painkiller right away.
Mhm.
And it's something that you can get pretty easily addicted to.
Yeah.
Obviously.
No. Absolutely.
And then luckily he never moved on to the stuff like heroin. He kind of got help early on,
That's good.
and he got off of it. But like as for friends, nothing hard at all.
Yeah.
I mean, like kids smoking weed is it's pretty common, but like
Mhm.
nothing harder than that.
Yeah. Nothing too crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then as like we wrap up, do you have anything like you want to add just for general information that you like thought about like relating to drug trafficking or drug use at all on campus?
I think that if the university made it a little bit more well known what exactly would happen, depending on like if you're found with or without, or just depending on what you're found with
Mhm.
in terms of drugs, that I think it might turn some kids away from doing the harder stuff, and also like maybe have like a support center.
Mhm.
You know, if like the kids, because like college, you have like a lot of freedom.
And
You
some kids
might-
get overwhelmed,
yeah.
definitely.
You might get like a little overwhelmed with school and stressed out, and then like if your friends are all doing something, then you might be more inclined to do it.
Mhm.
So
Having that support system will
yeah,
really help.
like if these kids are getting into stuff that they know they shouldn't be, it sometimes can take a hold of your life. And I think if university, like I know there's probably something at Push, but like
Yeah.
it's not super well known.
Mhm.
So I think if they just let people know, then they can help the
Yeah.
problems as well.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.